One story, and you guys could ask whatever questions you want. I'll give you a simple human understanding of what fearing Hashem means to someone that lived among us, walked among us, not too long ago. One of the Gedolei Ador, his name was Rabbi Moshe Feinstein. It's well known that Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, when he prayed Amidah, unlike what you see in Batei Knesset today, where you see sometimes people like breakdancing when they're praying. They go like this, like that, they're moving. It's like, yeah, and they start dancing sometimes. One time I went to a Batei Knesset for Oshana Rabbah. We had a 9-hour shiur. 9-hour shiur. After 9 hours of speaking straight, you're kind of tired. Oh, but I went to the right keilah. They wanted to have shachrit, 4 hours shachrit. 4 hours shachrit. Why? Because they wanted to dance the whole time. Not a single one of them came to the shiur Torah though. But dancing for 4 hours they want for shachrit. So people think that if you dance in shachrit, that makes you holy. No, it just makes you dance. It doesn't make you holy. You're a good dancer. Maybe get a job for Madonna or something. But in Shamayim, they're not going to hire you. Why? They don't need dancers in Shamayim. They need tzaddikim in Shamayim. Now, Rav Moshe Feinstein, Dol Ador, Yad Ruach HaKodesh. When he prayed, it was very well known that he literally stood like a pillar. Didn't move an inch, not right, not left, not front, not back, nothing. Like so much so that it was weird to everyone else. It was just, how do you not move at all? Like nothing, not even like, like sometimes you look around a little bit, you finish, or you just, you move a little, like something, even if you don't want to move, you move. Almost like a little fire is in you, and you start, when the fire is dancing a little bit. Right? Nothing. Zero. Stands like a pillar, like he's made out of cement. So one time, one of the people in the keilah says, Kvod HaRav, please tell us, why don't you move? You should know, based on halacha, you're really not supposed to move during Amidah. You could see actually in the Stei Chemed, also Tfilah de Moshe, Rav Moshe Levi, both wrote it that if you're going to move, if you're going to go back and forth, only do it during the other prayers. Don't move during Amidah. Don't do it during Amidah. Why? You're in front of the Melech Malchei HaMelachim at the most serious time. It's not a time for dancing. So they asked Rav Moshe Feinstein, Kvod HaRav, how come you don't move? He says, when I was in Russia, one time these Cossacks, these Reshaim, wicked, put a gun to my head. And he said, if you move, I'm going to kill you. And I was young at the time. But when he put that gun to my head, I was so scared that he was going to kill me for nothing. I didn't do anything. Just for moving. Just twitch, right? Or if something itched. Not like I'm walking or running away. If I simply scratched my forehead, he was going to kill me. He was dead serious about killing me. It wasn't a joke. He was just looking for an excuse to kill me. That fear that I had made me realize how insignificant I am. How much of a zero I am. And at that moment, I said, this insignificance, this zeroness, I must dedicate this to Hashem. I must dedicate this to Hashem the rest of my life. And that's why every time I meet Hashem, every time I pray, that's how I pray. Because He put a gun to my head, He's flesh and blood, worst case scenario I die, big deal. But I was scared I didn't move. I didn't move. How would I not be scared if I'm meeting a Kadosh Baruch Hu? Many of the tzaddikim prayed very differently than the way you see in shuls. Why? The more Torah you know, the more you understand you have to be a little bit different. Different doesn't mean you make a scene. Different doesn't mean you are the loudest voice. Different means that you're the one that sees what a Kadosh Baruch Hu says and sticks to it. Today it's different, unfortunately. But I promise you that the more different you are from everybody else around you, as far as complying with the Torah, the more you'll influence everyone around you to be different, just like you. The kedusha that you'll bring to the place will influence them much more than you trying to be just like them and fit in. That's what a lot of young rabbis make a mistake in doing. They try to appease the crowd by telling people what they want to hear. They soften the approach. They start telling you about Yirat Shamayim in such a nice way that you forget you're afraid. There's an article on the internet by Chabad about Gehenom. After I wrote it, I wrote them. I want to go there. How you portray Gehenom, I want to go there. This approach that happened in our generation, unfortunately, is confusing a lot of people. It's very important to know that we have our Torah, we have our tzaddikim that tell us exactly what this means, what that means, what this means, what that means, and that's what we follow. We don't follow any local rabbi, we don't follow any famous speaker, we're not looking to be motivated into some type of state of numbness, thinking that we're tzaddikim. If you're alive, that's because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying constantly, my son, my daughter, you have work to do. That's why you're alive. It begins with Yirat Shamayim, you start having emunah, you start having bitachon, you combine all three different pieces, and little by little you get closer and closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and fulfilling your mission in the world. But if you think that you could just pick apart whichever pieces you like, you're going to love Hashem sometimes, you're going to believe sometimes, once in a blue moon when a car is approaching you're going to be afraid, but if it's not approaching then it's okay, your Yirat Shamayim will go on vacation. You know, you start picking and choosing which mitzvot you have, it's not going to fare very well. And that's why I always tell people, Yirat Hashem iotzarot. It's written in the Torah. Fear of HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, that's my treasure. So the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat says, what does it mean that's his treasure? Chachamim say he created the entire world just for you to be afraid of him. Not for you to love him. For you to be afraid of him. You should love him. It's a mitzvah. But it's not possible if you don't fear him first. Meaning that if you are only afraid of him, it's perfectly fine. Why? It's still a connection to him. But if you think you could only love him, it's not a connection to him. It's a connection to something else. It's not him. Why? If you know him, if you know HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you must be afraid. So it's either fear or fear and love. It can never be just love. And that's what Rabbi Akiva gave us as a chidush. We thought, oh, maybe we could skip the fear part, go to the party. But that's the reason why is because most of us don't even know what it means to love Hashem. We think that loving Hashem is something nice, like we love our wives, we love our husbands, puchi muchi muchi. It's not that. That's not Hashem. Hashem is not a puppy. A small example of what loving Hashem is in this Tanakh that I opened right at the beginning of the lecture. And I said, I can't believe I opened it here, because the whole idea of the lecture is in this one verse. The whole idea, the whole verse, the whole lecture, what I just told you is in this one verse. Hashem doesn't need 3 hours. He needs just one verse. And even this one verse, you could elaborate it for 500 years. The prophet Job says in chapter 13, verse 15, En yektileni lo ayachel. Were he to kill me, I would still yearn for him. Job is saying, even if HaKadosh Baruch Hu kills me, destroys me, punishes me, hurts me, all that stuff, all the worst things you could possibly imagine, I'll still do everything he says. Why? He's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And even for this high level, there's a debate in the Gemara of whether this is the highest level of fear or the beginning of love. But it's definitely not the highest level of love. We're thinking in our mind, wow, this guy loves Hashem. Even if he's going to kill you, you're going to still serve him? You fell in love with Hashem. Wow, Chazak u'Baruch, Job. No. There's actually a machloket between two Tanaim. One says, yeah, he loves him. The other one says, I'm in love. Are you crazy love? No. He got to the highest level of fear. That's what he got to. He's not loving him yet. Meaning that the highest level of fear is the beginning of loving Hashem. Needless to say, most people in our generation simply do not even understand the basic definition of what it means to love Hashem. Loving Hashem simply means you have no interest in yourself anymore. You have Hashem's interest only. You only care about what Hashem wants. That's loving Hashem. You're not doing anything for a reward. Meaning, even if Hashem says, listen, you keep Shabbat, I'm going to punish you. But you have to keep Shabbat. But I'm going to punish you for every single time you keep Shabbat, I'm going to punish you. And you still keep Shabbat. That's loving Hashem. How many people you have there? Even Rabbi Nachman of Breslev. Rabbi Nachman of Breslev said it himself in Likutei Maharan. He says, Alvai, my generation of tzaddikim, all reach Yirat Shamayim. He said it himself. So this is why we constantly talk about Yirat Shamayim, because quite frankly, from experience and from the books, talking about Ahavat Hashem is really irrelevant for most people at this stage. If you have arrived at a point where you can fall in love with Hashem and have fear of Hashem, most likely you are teaching. You're not learning from me anymore. You're already, well, Hashem, maybe I can learn from you. You're not learning from me. Alvai, I can learn from you.